Hi, it's Saturday, June 4th, 2016. I've just finished reading Clif High's Webbot report, or the ALTA report, as it's known. And it's a long report, very interesting. It's 32 pages. This video is just going to be a summary of the most important points, in my opinion, and points that I think my viewers will be interested in. So it's the June ALTA report. It's called Wild Ride. And I'll start with what Clif High calls China pop. So he's talking about the Chinese population. And it's quite interesting because he says a number of new sets going to the idea of Bitcoin is going to cross the chasm, Chinese chasm, in 2016. And I'm quoting this, as more than 100 million Chinese will attempt to purchase Bitcoin. And the data is suggesting that we need to expect to see a very significant impact on the fiat currency price of Bitcoin. And he also notes that he's seeing language like rabid demand by Chinese, by the Chinese, and also desperate to gamble on Bitcoin. Chinese will be desperate to gamble on Bitcoin. And the other interesting point about the China pop concerns currency change, a little bit like reset, I guess, but in this report it talks about currency change. It says China likely through the central authorities is going to make a currency change internally that will ripple around the planet. Data points towards gold and silver being involved, and also for the PBOC, or the People's Bank of China, their central bank, to be involved. And he also says that the China pop and the market pop cross in terms of real estate, that there will be a real estate crash, global real estate crash, and the Chinese are going to turn into sellers instead of buyers like they've been, for the last few years. And yeah, that's the China pop. So the second pop I thought was interesting was the Islam pop. And in this part, it talks about how Saudi Arabia is going to suffer severe economic hardship, and that Saudi Arabia's economic power will be reduced by half. And yeah, so that's about Saudi Arabia there, and that someone will make a fortune, playing the markets correctly in terms of Saudi Arabia. And then we move to the USA pop. One of the, again, this is just a brief summary of the points that I think are most important. If you really want to read about the whole thing, I recommend you buy the report. But what I found interesting is that he said that the high-end real estate market will lead the real estate crash in the States. He also says car dealerships are going to go bankrupt and they're going to be shutting down. And the other language he gets is death of financial system and economic destruction over June and July. That's what the data is pointing to. That's the start, and he thinks that's going to go on for until April 2017. The other language he's seeing, and I quote, is end of dollar data is showing as being active over the summer of 2016. And the other data is showing that treasury bonds are going to be sold. There's going to be a massive rush to sell treasury bonds over the summer of 2016, which, the mainstream thought is that if we do have economic slowdown, that treasury yields should go down and treasury bond prices should go up, but who knows? This is just, you know, like what the Webbot is seeing through the language. It's not really a prediction. It's just trying to analyze, you know, the data and what the language is telling us. Markets, the markets entity. So, and I quote here, it says, new growth around the next phase of financial changes. So in this new phase, apparently, is lasting from now, you know, from the summer of this year until April next year. And I quote this again, this phase is being defined as an ending period for the U.S. Federal Reserve note. And he mentions that that doesn't mean that after the summer of this year, you won't have Federal Reserve notes or dollars in your pocket. It's just that the dollar won't be as important globally, you know, after this summer. And also the data growth suggests that over the next 11 months, the Federal Reserve notes or the dollars, they will lose so much value that people are going to need thousands of Federal Reserve notes or dollars to make small purchases. So I guess the Webbot is seeing hyperinflation, but at the same time he says that we're going to see hyperinflation, deflation. That's what you get after hyperinflation, and it will be all around the globe. I guess Venezuela is happening now, so it's going to be a global monetary mayhem, in my opinion. And at the end of this markets report, he says that cryptocurrencies are going to be the emerging currencies during this period, and especially Bitcoin. He says Bitcoin will be the king of cryptocurrencies, and he says Ethereum will also be up there, but not as prominent as Bitcoin. And gold and silver, of course, will continue, should do well, you know, when you have monetary mayhem. And what else have we got? Yeah, so that's those were the main points. So things look like they're going to continue to escalate in terms of finance, currencies, and yeah, I'm focusing more on finance and currencies at the moment. There's a lot more that you can read in this report about, you know, earth changes, social unrest, but I'm just focusing on the more on the markets here. And he concludes, though, his report by talking about propaganda, and he's basically saying that we're very close to the unraveling of, you know, the powers that be or big government propaganda that we've been under for, I don't know, 40, 50 years, and that it's all going to unravel. But he does point out that all communications is propaganda, but when the government does it, it's very harmful. So yeah, very interesting. If you like my you know, summary of the Webbot report and what I talk about, and you haven't subscribed to me yet, please do. To my channel, please do. If you like this video, share it with friends, colleagues, family, and give me a thumbs up. Take care. Have a good weekend. Bye.